All questions come from the club. First question comes from Lucy. Lucy says, I am anticipating a little bit of self-doubt and imposter syndrome when it comes to launching my EP Kickstarter soon. For those of you who don't know, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding campaign where you effectively go out into the world and you say, I'm going to make this thing. Will you support me by pre-ordering or selecting one of the rewards? Any words of wisdom to share as a mantra for when that happens? Sure, absolutely. Let's get into it. Now, a couple wee things before I get into this topic, which is one that I'm passionate about as someone who has run 3 crowdfunders, and some of them more successful than others. The most recent crowdfunder I ran, I raised £20,000 in 28 days to make an album and a film. I've now made the album. The film is 70% finished and will be completed at the end of this year. I also ran a crowdfunder in the past for a vinyl, which was less successful, but was ultimately funded. And I also ran a crowdfunder for my first solo record once I disbanded from my old management and my old band. So effectively, it was the first self-managed album that I'd created. And I remember feeling very scared. It's a scary thing to get yourself out there into the world and ask people to support you in a mission. Now, it's interesting, Lucy, that you say the term imposter syndrome, because I remember listening to an interview with a chap that coined the phrase imposter syndrome. And apparently, he actually wished that he called it something different, because the term imposter syndrome gives the impression that there's some people that have it and some people that don't. Now, what he discovered, I don't know his name, I'll research it and I'll put it in the club after, because I remember finding it interesting. The chap who came up with the term imposter syndrome actually wished that he'd called it something different, because in his studies, everyone feels like that. Everyone feels like an imposter. No one really truly feels like an expert. Now, in my view, the biggest thing that you can do if you want to feel more confident is just get volume in. So you might not like my answer, but the reality is you're going to go into this crowdfunder and you are going to experience self-doubt. You are going to experience negative emotion. That's part of the journey. That's part of it. It's unavoidable. What I definitely recommend is that you are inputting really high quality coaching content. So anytime that you want to set out on a mission, which is quote unquote unrealistic, right? Which most of my life so far has been. It's not realistic to be a self-employed musician. It's not realistic to look after a little kid on your own and run successful businesses. It's not realistic to build hundreds of thousands of followers. It's not realistic to build the biggest music coaching, one of the world's biggest music coaching clubs on Patreon. None of these things are realistic. And I've managed to do them all. But the reason why I've been able to do them all is because of the input that I'm putting into my body, putting into my ears, putting into my soul. So I'm a big believer in coaching and coaching content, and really having teachers around you who are giving you the example of big dreams and achieving big dreams is not only possible, but very much realistic if you're willing to put yourself through the negative emotion. Now, if I was going to give you practical tips, Lucy, on how to get through your 28-day campaign, what I would recommend is shifting your mindset from I'm asking for something to I'm given something. So many of us, when we go into crowdfunding, we make the mistake of thinking through the lens of I'm trying to get stuff from the world, aka I'm trying to get money from the world. And if you shift into the mindset of I have this gift that I want to offer, music's a beautiful thing. It helps people to feel better. It helps people to feel good in the world. then you're going to have more success in the crowdfunder, because it's about your intention, right? If I sit down today to have this conversation with you guys and I think, oh my goodness, am I equipped to chat to these guys? Am I the most experienced person in the world? Then of course I'm going to feel limitation. I'm going to feel constriction. Whereas if I think, could I say one thing today that could maybe help someone and help them to live a better life? That simple springboard of that intention is actually going to give me a much better launch pad for the action that I take. So my recommendation is set your intention. Lucy, I know because we chat, because you're in the club, and Lucy voice noted me and said an amazing thing, which was, I'm looking forward to learning, right? If you go into any situation with that attitude, you will be successful. I have been enjoying learning Facebook ads across the last 3 months, and it started to become quite fun now because I'm starting to see feedback, but so many people quit before they actually get the feedback that they need. So if you were going into the Kickstarter, your crowdfunder, with the perspective of, I'm going to go through this, I'm going to be willing to experience negative emotion, and I'm going to use it as an opportunity to get feedback on what works and what doesn't, then you're going to be successful. If you define success as, I'm going to try my hardest. Now, one thing that I would recommend if you're going into a crowdfunding campaign is decide in your head that it's going to be successful. Decide in your head. I'll give you an example. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to do it live on this call, right? I am going to decide in my mind right now that one person is going to sign up for the club on this live stream, just to demonstrate how certainty creates results. Now, if I come on and I think, I don't know if anyone's going to want to sign up to the club, what does that create in terms of my output? Whereas if I say, yeah, man, and I listen, this is true. I know how much value is in the club. There are courses in the club that can help you to make £100,000 if you want to. There's courses in the club that can help you to grow 10,000 followers if you want to. There are Sunday catch-ups in the club which can help you have better relationships with your friends and family, better boundaries, a more successful business if you want to. Now listen, a teacher, aka in this case me, when I'm leading the club, I'm a teacher, cannot make you successful, cannot make you achieve your goal. But I know that inside of the club, there are bits of content, there's hours and hours of content, which can, if you're interested in changing your life, change your life. So, how much does it cost to join the club? It costs $1.50 to join the club, right? So, this is what I'm saying to you right now when I am thinking, of course, I'm going to get one person to join the club, because I'm basically giving away my whole life's work basically for free. It's $1.50 if you want to join Comment Club. Now, Lucy, I'm giving you that as an example of how certainty creates results in the world. Now, certainty in and of itself is not going to make anyone join the club, but my certainty of the value of the club is much more likely to get someone to come and join. Now, if you have the certainty of, am I going to raise any money? Of course I am. So I'm certain that it's going to be successful. What I would recommend is that you look at as, if I raise any money at all out of the crowdfunder, it's successful. That's my recommendation. If you approach it with that kind of certainty, you're guaranteed to have success in your crowdfunder. I hope that some of these ideas are useful. I hope some of these ideas are helpful.